So national media gets only a 19% approval rating. I think Connecticut media might be a little better, but I'm sure it's below the 50-50 line. And maybe this is one reason why. Not paying attention to what individuals really want. And let's apply it to our candidates, where media has generally shut out independent, unless they are very well known, like a Joe Lieberman. They've shut them out from coverage. And this is why it is absolutely wrong. And if you don't get it, shame on you. Almost nobody, so call this reason one, almost nobody outside the political system likes the two-party system. The two parties rarely put up candidates that are responsive to voters. They're more responsive to their party leaders, following orthodoxy or following what donors want. In all this time of internet greatness, the ability for the internet to read sentiments, how many House candidates do surveys and respond to what the voters ask in surveys? I know of zero in Connecticut. That's kind of despicable. It is a sign that the two parties don't have a great look towards. It's a sign that the big parties have become comfortable, and only come election time do they even care a whit about sentiments. So no wonder why the electorate is generally right in saying the two-party system has had its day. And its day is getting worse as the two parties divide even further towards extremes. Thus, the sentiment, if you really ask for having multiple strong candidates, third, fourth, fifth parties, or independent candidates, even without parties, it's strong. And one reason it's strong is that with multiple candidates beyond the big major Dems and Republicans, donors have less importance. A donor can buy its policy by infiltrating, supporting both parties if need be, in Connecticut, maybe just one. Hard to do that if there are 4 or 5 really contending parties. At least for now, little parties in Connecticut are beholden to no donors. My little party officially doesn't even take donations, and few candidates will. It means that if elected, it's independents who, if elected, are more likely to do the right thing. Now, we have a harder time getting elected, but even the process, 2 or 3 months in the spotlight, means we push the big parties to do the better thing. Let's say an independent for a House district swipes away 10% from a far-right candidate and causes him to lose. You think they're going to run that same candidate or even somebody like him in the next time round? Let's say in the next time round, other House districts have far-left candidates that lose 10% and with it their seat to an independent who's moderate. How good is that? Because it moderates those parties next time round. And even before then, during legislation time, the big parties have to keep an eye on those smaller parties and the sentiments behind them in their legislation. The force for moderation is stronger than ever among real voters. Now, I know media like horse races. I know media have a harder time with a horse race that's more than one-on-one, and they do want to pay attention to most likely winners. I get that, but a winner in these days is one who causes a bad guy to lose. Independents have a good chance of doing that in the process of moderating what has become an immoderate pair of divergent parties. The media has somewhat fueled this. If it bleeds, it leads. So the very verbose out there candidates do get more attention than the mild-mannered, calm moderates. Now, at the state level, I don't think we have really out there candidates. Everyone's in that moderate level. Everyone. for statewide office. But here's where the third party that might be on the extreme shows high principle. Because if, despite the likely loss, when voting for an independent in a statewide race, these voters know the independent's not going to win. We get that. But they're voting for principle anyway. They're often voting principle over party. They're voting principle, or maybe candidate, over the well-touted candidate with that big party and all that comes with it. And they're voting for the little likely loser nevertheless. That's worthy of a story. That's worthy of the kind of coverage about what kind of sentiments really fuel Connecticut voters.